of finding myself and who I wanted to be. And I didn't really understand that. I was just doing stuff because I felt like I just wanted to try it. And it took me until like about a year or so to understand and be okay with my process. We all got a process. Everybody say we all got a process. We all have a process, and it's destined for us and who we need to be. There are certain lessons that we have to learn, and God is going to bless us with the obstacles that we need to go through in order to learn those lessons. Again, bless. You feel me? I know when we go through hardships, it feels negative. It feels like our world is crashing, but really, when you go through that obstacle and you're able to live, you're able to learn, right? You live and you learn. You learn from every mistake you make. So without further ado, I got my panel up here. And my very first question for y'all is, what was that moment that got you started? What was that moment to where you was like, I commit? See, for me, that moment came at a day where I was tired at work, right? I'm a truck driver. Truck drivers work 10 to 12 hours easy. I worked about 10 hours that day, and I'm talking to myself. I talk to myself, right? I'm in the truck like, I want to go home. I don't want to do this no more. I get back to the yard. When I walk into the office, you know what the supervisor did? We got one. He gonna take a trip. How do you feel about somebody controlling your life like that? How does that make you feel? Anybody? How does that make you feel if you walk up into an office and they tell you, oh, we got one? You might want to go home and make love to your wife. You might want to, go kick it with your kids. You might got to pick your kid up. But they like, nah, this job is more important than anything else that you got going on. Talk to me. That day, I was fierce. I got up in that van and I said to myself, I commit. Everything I had been thinking about. I started doing skits. I started motivational speaking. I dropped a couple rap videos. I mean, how many of us up in here did some rap videos before? Y'all probably didn't post them, but I did. I posted mine. You know what I'm saying? I posted my rap videos. You gotta do. You gotta shoot your shot up in this world. You never know what you made of or where you can go. You gotta clap it up for that. Come on. I get some claps for that. You gotta shoot your shot. So, my point being is, one of the most uncomfortable moments from working for somebody else made me commit to my situation because I felt like God touched me and said, your only way out is if you commit to everything that you're thinking about. You either settle for this for the rest of your life or do everything you're thinking about. So what was that moment for y'all where it was, maybe it didn't happen like that, but what was that moment for you where it was either I take this or I go out and take this risk and do what I feel like I want to do? There you go, winner.
It was several moments like this in my life, but I was 23 years old at the time. I was making $23 an hour. I was a supervisor, and they told me I couldn't get the day off for my birthday, even though I submitted the request maybe like 3 weeks in advance. So to think somebody was going to dictate how I was going to celebrate my day. Yeah. Come on, man. They chose the right one that day. You feel me? So they said, well, you got to find somebody to cover your shift. No, you go out to find somebody to cover their shift. They didn't want to have that conversation. So at that moment, I knew that I was of high value, and I decided to fire my job and go ahead and bet on myself. And most of the times, people just don't believe enough in what they got going on or what they're doing or what they're pursuing, so they're willing to stay in a comfortable situation. But I knew I had to get uncomfortable in order to create the life that I really wanted to live. And I only can do that with intentions. So I was super intentional. I made sure that I was like, okay, this is how much money I need to be able to do this. So I let the job fund my freedom until I created the exit plan so I can do what I've been doing these last 4 years, striving and thriving on my own. So it doesn't have to be much, but it just takes you wanting to change you more than somebody wants to benefit you. I tell people, use them before they use you, because everybody go use your gifts, your abilities, and your talents before you do. So when you tap into you, and that's when you'll be able to quit them and, run your 24-hour race yourself.
That's right. Winter watch, y'all. Clap it up for Winter watch. Let's go, King Chris.
First and foremost, before I respond to that question, bro, I just got to say how proud of you I am.
Thank you, bro.
This is, as an event producer myself, I know how very difficult it is to put an event on.
Clap it up for that.
Y'all make some noise for Jay Brock, man. This brother right here is powerful. And you know this, ever since the day that I met you,
Sir.
I'll never forget that day that I met you. I have always seen this type of potential in you. Before it was even a thought in your mind, you have that. I see you in Madison Square Garden. I see you all around the world. I see you holding summits and seminars and things of that nature. It's only the beginning. I know people, my first event, I'm serious, like, this is where we don't take enough time to celebrate the legends that put these platforms together. We're here to talk about us, but we wouldn't be talking if it wasn't for you. So I thank you so much, my brother, because I've not been to any type of event like this at all. Being around creatives and being even in inspiring places, to be completely honest with you, in about 2 years. I don't come outside for everybody. And that's not from no cocky shit. It's just like I got 3 daughters. I'm be on my family man shit. You know what I mean? I just purchased a new house. So I'm always doing something that's trying to balance the business and family. So when you call, I gotta respond. But to answer your question, that process started for me in 2017 when I was living in Hawthorne, living in a 2-bedroom townhouse, and I was working full-time at T-Mobile in Baldwin Hills off La Brea and what was called a Rodeo back then, but they didn't change it to Obama Boulevard. But I was off La Brea and Rodeo back then, working at that T-Mobile right there next to CJ's Cafe, working full-time, and I was making decent enough money, you know what I mean, to obviously be able to have my own spot. I was also doing Uber on the side, you know what I mean? So the hustler in me just always wanted to do things to make money, but I was also doing poetry events back then, you know what I mean? Just kind of part-time, just kind of to get my feet wet and see what it's like to be in front of a crowd, to get encouragement, to just kind of explore my gifts that had came to me in 2016, the year prior. But that major leap and that major step for me started when I started to feel too comfortable. And the thoughts that were running through my mind was, okay, you got a 2-bedroom townhouse, you living by yourself, you doing your thing, you making money, but you're not fulfilled.
That's the big one.
When you go to sleep at night, you're not fulfilled. You feel like something is missing. It sounds cliche, but a lot of us go through that. You making the bread, you hustling, you got the girl, you got the dude, you got everybody cool. You look around you, all the kids taken care of, but why am I going to sleep unhappy every night? What's missing? This thing that I'm doing part-time is actually the thing that I need to switch for what I'm actually doing full-time. So I'm full-time at T-Mobile and I hate it. I'm only giving poetry and being on stage and speaking and things of that nature only part of my time. How would I feel at night if I gave that full-time and completely eliminated the job? So when I decided to do that, July of 2017, a whirlwind of life experiences came behind that. I was homeless for 2 years after making that decision. And that's when my journey started, is when I actually had to experience what rock bottom feels like for me. And, and it just opened my eyes to, like, I thought I knew what my gifts was, but when I was homeless, it really revealed to me that the world is my stage. I don't need a microphone to be on stage. I don't need a camera in front of Instagram. I don't need people to validate me in order to understand how powerful my gift is. That's when my journey started, is when I started to realize the young kid born and raised in LA that was quiet with 5 siblings that peed in the bed with a big head, that got bullied my entire childhood, that never had friends, that was always the black sheep. I got a gift. I'm one of the chosen ones. I'm different. I look at all my siblings, they all doing traditional work, all praise to them. But this thing inside of me is calling me to do something different. So I decided to jump, not just for myself, but to leave a lineage for my children. To give them a new example so that they're not in 20 years at a seminar crying about how much they don't love themselves like I was. You know what I mean? So that's when that journey started for me, and that's why I'm here right now speaking to you guys, because of that decision.
That's right. Clap it up for Ken Jr. Westside Miri, let's do it.
First of all, thank you for the space and for giving us, a chance to give our spiel on our experiences. For me, I think you said a very important word, being unfulfilled. When I was in college, I was doing a lot. I was going to school to, get that degree to make my parents happy, because I come from a strict Eritrean household where, and I'm the first, I was born back home, but my parents were living their dreams through me, so it was imperative for me to get my degree. And at the same time, I was interning with 1500 Sound Academy, so I was experiencing, you know, a taste of my passion. And then I was also working my first ever job, which was at Vons, at a grocery store.
Yeah, I worked at Vons too.
You know? And yeah, because honestly, like, it was a great experience for me because, you know, it taught me everything I didn't want to be doing, but also how to deal with different people. And listening to different people kind of projecting their fears onto me because they didn't like that, you know, I was so focused and so driven on the passions that I had, and I was just very stubborn, dividing all my time to appeal to other people, but still making time to make sure that I was fulfilled. Because I used to be extremely sad going to school, sitting in class, and that's what I thought I wanted to do. But then when I realized, like, interning, like, there's a whole nother world of people who are just so stubborn and just as stubborn and just as delusional as I am about exactly where they want to go in life. So it was extremely inspiring in that, like, as soon as I finished college, just directly decided to follow what I felt when I was interning, and just thus being my own boss and not having to answer to different people, but, you know, taking those experiences and just creating that world that I wanted to live in, creating my own heaven, you know?
That's right.
My own freedom.
That's right.
Yeah.
Clap it up for the freedom, y'all.
Man, so for me, like, I've had an interesting journey just being an artist kind of first, right? Really excelling through that and just kind of going through all the trials and tribulations as an upcoming artist. And then being approached by my business partner now, his name's Andrew Mason. He's the original founder of Underground Magazine. You know, that opportunity for me to now have a platform that I'm working with and to kind of grow a business around the whole music thing that I'm doing, that was really the opportunity for me. So it then kind of transcended into opening a photo studio, which is what I did recently. And that's kind of what gave me the opportunity to take the leap from just having a magazine and just kind of doing the platform thing that we're doing into making it a lucrative thing and, you know, making that make sense and allowing me to leave my job and kind of take that next step. So, and then with that, with the magazine, it's just been a crazy journey of opening new doors and just trying different things, whether it's A&Ring, management, event coordination, I mean, so many different things. So it's just allowed me to kind of branch my wings out. But I think for me, just getting that initial started with creating music, just getting over the initial fear of wanting to perform or do music in front of people and feeling accepted for that, pushing through that, and learning how to navigate through the industry and those kinds of things. So it's a never-ending journey, but I did recently, about 2-3 months ago, just leave my job to open a studio and pursue this full time. So
Clap it up for that. Let's go. Let's go, Giggles. Give it to him, Giggles. Let's go. Giggles Irene, baby. Clap it up for her.
So my moment where I was like, I'm gonna fully go into this was in 2016. I was the manager of a mattress store. And the owner was telling me, yo, you run this store so good, I want to open a mattress store in New Mexico and I'm going to send you over there for a year. And I was like, oh, hell no. So I was like, I need to get out of here. So he told me that on a Thursday afternoon. That night I was sending out email after email, like I'm applying to all these like radio jobs, like assistant jobs. And the next morning, Friday morning, I got an email that said like, yo, come to LA tomorrow. And you'll be my assistant, and that was from Mi's Miri gang. And from then on, once like I was in with him, I left the mattress store, and I was like, okay, it's gonna be full on music. And I just was like a sponge. I took everything in, and now I'm here. So
That's right. Giggles Irene Radio, y'all. Clap it up for her.